Hello, today we are going to be talking about one of my most favorite things in the world, and that is glitter makeup. I put every glitter in my makeup collection to the test, and today we are going to be rating every glitter in my collection, starting with my least favorite and going all the way down to my most favorite glitter. So make sure you stay tuned till the end so you can find out what that is. This video has been a while in the making because yes, I did test every single one of these. I wore every single one for a whole day and I rated them all. I scored them all and we're just going by the math today. The numbers do not lie. Make sure that you're subscribed. Let's go ahead and get started. We have note cards here. I put a lot of effort into this if you can't tell. This is my Virgo self coming out here pretty hardcore. Didn't buy any new glitters for this video. I wanted to use everything that I've already had in my collection and use on a regular basis. I use a 1 to 10 rating system. Every glitter was rated on packaging, application, prettiness, fallout on application, and by the end of the day, longevity of wear, and then the final removal process of the glitter. I did take price into consideration somewhat, although I didn't use that in my scoring system because I wanted it to be just kind of based off of like the product itself. I tested everything on my lid and then on the side of my eye right here. I used this Smashbox 24-hour photo finish eyeshadow primer on all of my eye looks. I wanted to keep it consistent. Then on any of the loose glitters, I did use this NYX glitter glue. Ended up that I had 8 different types of glitters in my collection. Kicking it off with my 8th place is the e.l.f. glitter eyeshadow. Unfortunately, this one was at the bottom for good reason. It just did not score very well overall. These retail for $6. You get a nice little liquid glitter shadow on a doe foot like this. $6, not a huge price commitment. I think this was okay. Probably won't ever use this again. The packaging, I gave a decent rating to. Plastic, easy enough to use, pretty straightforward. Application, I did not enjoy on this one. It was really wet. It was messy. It got everywhere. I just did not enjoy this. Stayed wet for too long and it gave me like a really bad stinging, tingling feeling on my eyelid, which I did not enjoy. Just wasn't overwhelmed with the prettiness of this glitter. I mean, it was okay. I think I ended up giving it a 5. Kind of like a basic, just regular silver glitter. The longevity was not the best. I gave it a 5 by the end of the day. It just did not look very good. I wore this on a day off, just kind of like doing chores around my house, and it got all over my face. I was with my boyfriend that day and it got all over him. It was on him for days. Removal, I gave it a really low score as well. It was just like all over my face. It was a glitter that lingered and never went away. And I just wanted to mention that I used the same products to remove all of these. I used the Juno & Co. makeup removing balm, and then I use makeup eraser wipes. Sorry, e.l.f. Price is good, but in my opinion, this is not a good glitter product. I really didn't enjoy using it and it got last place. Next to last, in 7th place, we have the Pixie Liquid Fairy Light. So another drugstore product. Get the tube like this with the liquid glitter. Kind of similar to the e.l.f. one, a little longer tube, but it has the doe foot applicator like this. I think you get a decent amount of product in here. I have 2 different colors here. I have kind of like a green, is called Pixie Green, and then I have a more gold called Sunray. These retail for $15 a piece. These are kind of hard to find now in store, but I think you can still get them on Pixie's website. I gave them a decent score for packaging, very similar to the e.l.f. one. Plastic. I like that they're called Liquid Fairy Lights. I think that's a really cute name for the product. The application was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It was really easy to use. Just kind of put it on the lid and patted it out a little bit. I did want to mention that this one also made a little bit of like a stinging feeling on my lid, which I didn't enjoy that much. It almost just felt like a little irritating. Once it was on and I had it all applied, I gave it a 6 on prettiness. I mean, it was pretty glitter, but it wasn't wowing me by any means. It was fine. I don't know, not a wow moment, but it kind of got the job done. I gave it kind of a bad score on fallout on the initial application. It was kind of somehow just like all over my face by the end of doing my makeup. The longevity on the final wear was honestly one of the worst. It was almost completely gone. It looked really bad. Now granted, I did wear it to work that day and it was a long day at work, but it just did not stand the test of time. There was fallout throughout the day as well. Upon getting home, it was like dripped down my face and kind of everywhere, which did end up helping it out for like the removal process was really easy because there was barely any left. Not the worst, not the best. It was okay. I don't know if I'd recommend spending $15 on one of these. I think you can get a nicer glitter for this price point. Moving right along to 6th place. I debated even including this in the rating because they're so hard to find, but I did find one site that sells these. These were the first glitters I ever owned and wore, so these are kind of special to me. These are what started my love for wearing glitter makeup, and these are called Sparklies. They're just kind of like loose little glitters in tubes. I have 3 of them here. I got these in a little gift shop when I lived in Michigan, and I've had them for years, and they're really pretty glitters. The only place I could find these was on one website, and it is $25 for a pack of 10 of these. I don't know, something about the packaging on these, I just love these little tubes. I gave them a high score in packaging just because I think the labeling is so cute. It says Sparklies and it has a little fairy on it that says captured magic from the stars. I have 3 here. I have kind of like a green, a gold, and just kind of like a white iridescent. The application was actually not bad considering it's just a loose glitter in a tube. I just kind of like dump it out on my finger. I did use the glitter glue underneath to hold it down and just tap it on the lid. And this white one was so pretty. I gave these an 8 for prettiness. They're just so sparkly and beautiful, and I really think it is like what it says, captured magic from the stars. They just give off such a pretty shimmer and look so pretty on the lid and on the side. They did have a lot of fallout on the application, which I think is just to be expected. I was able to just kind of brush it off and it wasn't a huge problem. I was really surprised on the longevity of these. By the end of the day, I wore these to a shift at work. They still looked pretty good. A lot of it was still on my lid and on my skin over here. There was fallout all over my face, so that gave it kind of a lower score. I think the fallout kind of hurt it. And then the removal was a challenge too. It was still left over on my face afterwards. These are just, in a way, just like a nostalgia thing for me, and I will always love them and they'll always be special to me, so I wanted to include them in this. In 5th place, we have ColourPop. In some ColourPop palettes, you'll get these pressed glitter shadows in here, and what it is just a straight up pressed down glitter. It's pretty loose and you can just press your finger into it and get some glitter, and they are really sparkly and pretty actually. I have here the Fairy Well palette, which is a really pretty palette that I like a lot. It has a lot of nice neutrals, but there's 2 glitters in here that I tested out for the purpose of the video. ColourPop palettes can range anywhere from $14 to $25, so it's a pretty good price, and you do get the other shadows, which if you just want some glitters and shadows, this might be a good way to get some into your collection. Application was fine. I gave it a 6. It was like a little messy, not the easiest thing at all to use. I did use some glitter glue when I put it on, and they did look really pretty. I gave these a 7.5 on prettiness. Overall, really couldn't complain about the way they looked. I did get a good amount of fallout on the initial application, which is kind of to be expected with any loose glitter. Longevity longevity, I gave a 7. They lasted pretty well. I wore them to work on a Friday. It did rain on me a little bit on my way in and out of work. It did have fallout throughout the day, which I don't know if there was one single glitter in this countdown that I didn't get a little fallout. I think that's just normal with glitter. I gave this a 10 out of 10 on removal. No problems at all, came right off. Good glitters if you want to invest in a good palette with some glitter in it. I think ColourPop is a nice option. We are on to our top 4, and before I even get into this one, I want to super apologize because I didn't realize this product was discontinued. I tested it and it worked really well, so I'm gonna go ahead and include it. Sorry about that, I didn't realize till I was like looking up the prices. We have here the Tarte Treasure Pot Glitter Gel. This is like a gel glitter in a pot. I have here the shade Pride. It's like a pink kind of rainbow glitter with hearts in it. And I'm really sad that Tarte discontinued these because this ended up being one of my most favorite glitters I tested. It scored really high, so I can't give you a price. I gave it a 6 on packaging just because I think it was really bulky for what you get. Like, this is pretty big just to have one glitter in it, although it's really pretty. I like the glitter on the lid. The application was okay. I gave it a 6. It got a little chunky, like all the hearts wanted to kind of clump together and I had to do a little extra work to kind of work those out. But overall, it was pretty easy to put on, just kind of tap on and go. I enjoyed it. I like the gel formula. I think it's really easy to use for the most part. Prettiness, I gave it a 7. I thought it was really pretty. It has a really nice rainbow flash to it. The hearts are really cute. Barely any fallout. Lasted really well all day. It looked really good by the end of the day. I wore it to work, and 10 out of 10 on removal. It came off perfectly fine, no residue left. Kind of sad that this doesn't exist anymore. Have to just treasure this little treasure pot because you can't get these anymore. We are on to our top 3 most favorite glitter products. In 3rd place, we have the tried and true Stila liquid glitter eyeshadows. These have been a fan favorite for a really long time. These have been around forever. I was surprised with how well these ranked. I really do like these. 2 shades here. I have Lilac Ice and Kitten. One's a mini, one's a full size. This regular size is $25 for one shadow, which is kind of pricey, and you don't get a ton of product in here, but it is a pretty good product. I really like the packaging on these. I think e.l.f. was a direct copy off of this packaging. But nothing wrong with it. It looks like glass, but I think it is plastic. Yeah, I gave it an 8 on packaging. I really like the packaging. The application on this was one of my favorite applications because there was no mess. It went on so easy. I didn't even have to use my finger to pat it down. I just swiped it on and I was done. And that was one of my favorite things about the Stila. It was so easy to work with and not messy. It didn't sting like the cheaper ones either. I gave it a 9 on prettiness. I thought these were so pretty when I put them on. Not the most beautiful, which we'll get to that, but overall really good. Barely any fallout on the application. Like I said, not messy at all. The longevity was where this one didn't make it as well. I did wear these on a Saturday to work, which is like the true test of any of the glitters, and by the time I got home they were looking pretty rough. It didn't last as good as I hoped, but that wasn't enough to like take it away from like the top 3. The removal, I gave it a 9. No problems at all, came right off. If you want a pretty, not messy, easy to use, nice glitter and you're willing to pay a little more, I think the Stila glitters are really nice. We are on to our top 2, and in 2nd place it was almost the top but didn't quite make it. We have the Lemonhead LA glitter pastes. I think that's what they're called. I do have a full first impression video on this space case glitter case. I can link below if you're interested. This is just a beautiful case of glitters. These are really, really nice glitters. Not a lot of complaints. They do kind of smell like lemon, so if you don't like scent, you won't like that. They do come in single glitters. I don't have any. They are $22 to $26 for a single, and then their cases go up in price a lot. These are pretty pricey. They range anywhere from $156, and their biggest case is $496, which is a lot of money for glitter. I've gotten a good bit of use out of these. I do like them. I gave them a 10 out of 10 on application. They're really easy to use. Just dip your finger in, swipe them on, and you're done. It is a little more of like a wet feeling formula. When you put it on, it feels a little sticky and then it dries down. I gave these a 9.5 on prettiness. I thought they looked really, really pretty. They have really pretty duochrome flashes, a lot of different options in here. On the packaging, I gave a 7. I really, really like the case on here. It's airtight. I like that they gave you the sticker that says the names on them. The only reason I took off points is because of these corner ones. I think is really hard to get them out. The other day I was trying to use this green glitter in the corner and I had a hard time getting it out, so I docked some points there. Didn't have really any problems with fallout on the application. I got a few little pieces down below, but I think that was like my own fault. Longevity, at the end of the day, these were still looking really good. I gave it a 9. I had some creasing on the eyelids and a little bit of fallout underneath, but like barely any at all. I wore these on a Saturday to work, so these got tested pretty hard. The removal, I gave a 6. It's kind of a little harder to get off. I noticed a lot was left over on my face, but I think that that's not like the worst thing ever because they do last really well. So of course, if they last well, it's going to be harder to take them off. So not that big of a deal. Overall, I think these are pretty nice. Just a little expensive, but I'm going to get to a little cheaper alternative when we move on to our number 1. Number 1 spot, we have my most favorite glitter, and that is Sleigh Fire Cosmetics. I love these. I love these so much. This is a more recent love of mine. It's a smaller female-owned brand. I did a full video unboxing this diamond skin glitter case. I can link that below if you're interested. So I have this full case here, and then I also have some smaller individual glitters from the brand as well. This orange one right here is one of the most pretty glitters I've ever used. I freaking love this one. It smells really good too. I have a reel on my Instagram testing this one. I'm pretty sure I wore these two to my brother's wedding. I have like a nice pink one here. This is called Flirtatious. I have Glinda right here. This is the one I'm wearing on my face today. Really pretty, kind of like small gold. And then this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. This case right here. I remember I almost cried tears of happiness when I opened this in the last video because it was so beautiful. I am so obsessed. I love the formula on these, and they are just so stunningly beautiful. They hand make these in small batches, which I think is amazing. And I just wanted to mention that after my last video, the owner of the brand did reach out to me on DMs and thanked me and like took the time to write that she watched my whole video. And it really meant a lot to me. The prices on these I think are really good. The single glitters like this are $14, which I think is a really good price. It's the same price as one of these Pixies, and this is so much better. I mean, if you're gonna spend $14, buy one of these. Packaging, I gave a 10 out of 10. I really like the real glass pot here. So nice. Case is really, really nice too. I like the size of the pots here. So easy to dip your finger in. And then it has the airtight lid, which will keep them lasting for a really long time. Application, I gave this a 10 out of 10. These are so easy to use. They don't feel super wet when you put them on. I think in the last video I compared it almost to like a wet sand type of feeling. They don't feel all wet and sticky, and they go on really easy. Just swipe on and you're done. And then they don't even really have to have a dry down time because they're already pretty much dry when you put them on. I don't know what kind of magic they put in here, but I absolutely love using these because they're not messy at all. Prettiness, 10 out of 10. These are the prettiest glitters I've ever seen and used. They just make me feel so beautiful and sparkly. sparkly when I put them on, and they just are pure magic. I love them. Barely any fallout either on the application. If you're careful, you can get these on with no problem at all. The palettes are gonna range in price anywhere from $115 to $180, which I don't think is bad. I would say buy a palette from here instead of Lemonhead. I think these are a better formula, and I think it's just overall a cooler brand. I think you just get so much more for your money than on the Space Case. They also have a custom case building option on their site, which I think is really great. You can customize your own palette. Longevity on this, I gave a 10 out of 10. I wore this on a day off, but I've worn these to work multiple times and they always stay on better than anything else. They just don't really move. They just stay on and still look gorgeous and beautiful by the end of the day. A little bit of fallout at the end, but like nothing at all, nothing irregular from all of the other glitters we tested. The removal is a little more challenging. I find that I usually do have some residual glitter left, but not a big deal because of how well it stays on. I mean, you want it to stay on, right? I don't mind having a few leftover glitters on my face before I go to bed or the next day. They're easy to just kind of brush off. I really feel like I can't say enough good things about these glitters. I absolutely love these. Right now, I think these are gonna be just like what I'm wearing. It's just not really worth it to use any of the other ones. So love you, Sleigh Fire. All right, that's gonna do it for ranking every glitter in my collection. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching. I hope this was informative and useful. It was fun wearing glitter to work. Literally every shift for like almost 2 weeks I was wearing glitter. I don't think anyone really questioned it that much. I really appreciate you being here. Make sure that you're subscribed before you leave. I will leave every product mentioned linked below, so check down there if you're interested. And until next week, please remember that you are special, beautiful, and magical, and I love you so much. Bye!